actually know the words to the song that's like stuck in my head. I just know the beat, so like I'm just gonna roll with that as we do this.
Hello and welcome to today's episode of Juicing the Numbers. I am your host, Joshua Tracy.
And I'm Corwin.
Hello.
You know my last name. You probably don't. I don't give a shit. Whatever. Fuck it. Let's move on.
Yeah, who cares? We don't. We're gonna, we're just moving right along as today we continue, Josh's ever-continuing deep dive into what Baseball Savant has to offer. So I have two things. I have a continuation of our last stats episode where I did in the zone versus out of the zone.
Okay.
And I have an examination of two pitchers that I thought might be interesting.
Who are the pitchers?
Well, do you want to start with the pitchers, or do you want to start with our continuation of? They're both the relatively.
Why
the
don't
same
we
size.
figure out what's going on first, and you explain it, and then we can figure out the pitchers.
That's what I'm saying. Do you want to start with the pitchers, or do you want to start with the in the zone, out of the zone stuff?
In the zone, out of the zone.
All right.
There's a hair on this mic that I doubt is mine. Kind of gross. Just touched my mouth.
It's in you now.
Yep. So I have AIDS.
Let's hope so. So I think I mentioned this when we did this last time, but Baseball Savant lets you break it down by in the zone versus out of the zone, and they also let you break it down by what quadrant you're in, like what part of the zone you threw in.
Okay.
And so that's what I decided to do with this.
Okay.
So I have in the zone broken down by
zone.
Yeah, I guess literally by zone, and I have out of the zone broken into its respective zone.
We should come up with a better name for that before we completely lose our minds trying to keep track of it.
I'm going to stick with quadrant. I know quadrant refers to something that has four pieces because of quad, but
yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
As governing secretary of the English language in this duo, I approve.
So this might actually end up being a better answer to the question that I had last week of what's the most commonly thrown pitch in the zone versus out of the zone, because to do what quadrant it was in the zone, what pitch it was, and how many times it was thrown for which results was way too much. So what I have it as is broken down 1 through 9. Which for in the zone is the 3 rows of 3 different sections it's in. So
like how you would read it with a book. So
right,
1,
I actually
2,
have
3,
it up here.
Next line 4, 5, 6.
Yep.
Then next line 7, 8, 9.
Right. So we're
or like a numpad would have been a much better example of this.
A numpad the numpad on your phone, not the numpad on your computer, because they're reversed.
Oh,
you ever noticed that shit?
Yeah, I forgot that.
Yeah. So 1 will be top left of the zone, and 9 will be bottom right of the zone, and then you can just fill in the rest from there.
So
5 is middle.
So it just took us exactly a minute and a half, and by exactly I'm completely guessing, to describe what a numpad looks like. So we're on top of it today.
We're all figuring it all out on our own time, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's where we're at. So just off the bat, before we even get into the nitty gritty of it, what do you think? Which zone do you think has the most pitches?
I would say 7.
So 7 would be bottom left.
Yeah.
I'm kind of with you on that. I'm gonna say, but just to be different, I'm gonna say 2. I had not looked at it this much, as I was telling Corwin before we started recording, because it was a lot, and I kind of had a busy day at work.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
So this is going to be a little bit of unveiling for us on the show too. Quadrant 1,
yes,
had 3,398 pitches total.
Okay.
2 had 3,788, so that's more.
Okay.
3, top right corner, had 2,928. 4 had 4,894. That's a big jump. That's a big jump. Get ready for this jump. Quadrant 5, which, as I said, is middle, 5,814.
Okay.
6 had 5,026. 7 had 4,084.
Fuck.
8 had 5,309. And 9 had 4,759. So
middle.
By almost 1,000. By about no, actually, I forgot about quadrant 8. By about 500 pitches is the most.
So correct me if I'm wrong. Middle is probably
the worst
place to put it.
Yeah,
okay, I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah. So I do have it as a result of as pitch type, total quantity of pitch type thrown in that section. So I'm going to guess four seam, right?
Right.
Like that's got to be it.
Absolutely. I don't think it's necessarily going to be close with that, but
it's not even. Sure. No, four seam fastball has 2,520 pitches out of the 5,814. So nearly half, about 40%. Second most is actually slider.
Really?
949. Yeah.
Middle sliders.
A middle. I guess like what we were saying last week, but like that's like the pitch that like it looks like it's gonna hit the batter and then will curve in. I guess that's where it's gonna end up.
Yeah.
Yeah, fucking go figure on that shit.
Middle would be like literally the farthest up and the farthest right I would ever want a slider for a right-handed pitcher.
Right. So I'm gonna have to imagine as we go down in the zone, we'll see more breaking balls thrown, and then up in the zone, more fastballs. You feel me?
Yeah. Do you just watch that?
Yeah, I saw.
Okay. We just watched Triple play. Which is pretty dope.
It happens.
Yeah. Not ideal, but, pretty cool.
So, where do you want to start? Do you want to start up or down?
I always like being on top, so let's start there.
Well, let's do all the middles. So we'll do 2, 5, and 8.
Your lack of laughing at that joke devastated me.
I will never be the same.
All right, let's start.
Okay, so as I said, four-seam fastball middle was the most common one by so much. Section quadrant, 2, wow, it's still four-seam fastball, and it's not even close. I'm willing to bet most of these are going to be four-seam fastballs, so let's go with the second most common.
Okay.
What do you think?
That ends up being high?
Yeah.
Probably a slider.
It's still slider.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Curveballs are never going to finish high, and I just don't know, I just don't think there's enough two-seamers and other type fastballs that would ever make the top of the list.
What's funny is that two-seam fastball is second.
Is it?
Yeah, so sliders... So first off, four-seam fastball is 2,255, which is comically high compared to the rest of these pitches.
Yeah.
Slider comes in second at 448.
You just said two-seamer comes in second.
Because I'm thinking of filtering out the four-seam.
Okay, so it came in third.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now I forget how we did this because I think... So it's FT and SI, and I think that they differentiated between... it's funny because I think what they did was they said that they grouped two-seam and sinker in the same category, but for some reason they still split them up. So call it what you want. Sinker has 225, and two-seam fastball has 232.
Okay.
So if you want to put them together, they would actually be second most ahead of slider. Parsed out, they are 3 and 4.
Fair enough.
So that is actually pretty interesting. With cutter also being right up there in the mix. Yeah, I'm kind of surprised to see any breaking ball. The least common one is FO, which I already forget what we called that.
It was like the fucking... It was something weird. Like it was...
Was it pitch out?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, pitch out.
Fastball out.
Yeah, it was pitch out. Yeah, because I said, why don't they use PO for pitch out?
Because they're dumb and,
Because they hate us.
They do hate us.
Yeah, so there was one singular pitch out that was up in the middle. There were 2 pitches that were unidentified, and there were five knuckle curves, and that was it.
I just don't know, how... I want to see videos of these clips.
Clips of these videos.
These pitches, and how a curveball ends up in the very top of the zone.
They just don't break. That's usually what ends up happening. Because if you throw...
You don't say.
80 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Or 75 miles an hour for your curveball, which is that's about right. And it doesn't move at all. It'll dip a little bit at the end because it'll lose velocity as compared to a 90 mile an hour fastball.
Course.
But it won't have the drastic downward motion of a curveball. So that's what I'm imagining is happening here. But yeah, that's fucking ugly. So we already talked about 5, which was middle.
Mm-hmm.
8.
Okay.
Middle down.
Fair enough.
What do you got?
Slider.
So fastball is still king here, 1,543 out of the 5,309. Slider is second, and not nearly as distant of a second as it was in the past. It's still a lot.
Right.
1,011.
Okay.
So it's 500 fewer.
Right.
A little bit above.
Still a decent
But
jump.
way closer than it was for
Right.
high in the zone, where it was
Yeah,
over
yeah.
1,000.
I'm actually still kind of surprised by that. I know we've talked about it just because the massive volume of fastballs thrown. But I still would have thought at least that sliders being, down and in would be, a decent chunk of that.
Well, this is
Or a
just
much
down
larger
so far.
chunk.
So I'm actually going to wonder what's going to happen when we hit the corners.
Right.
I'm expecting still a lot of fastballs, but because
the volume, they have to go somewhere.
yeah, it really. I was gonna give a better, not like a better one, but I was gonna give a more nuanced explanation. But at the end of the day, you're right. Where it's just whatever
Give me
fancy
your better.
reason I was gonna have.
Yeah.
No, it's just that they throw a lot of them.
Yep. They're going to go everywhere. Most of them are going to be up high, but there's so many. They're bound to hit down.
I will be interested to see if we have anything that does overtake it, but it just doesn't look likely at all. Third place for middle down is actually changeup.
Huh.
Yeah, 764. So
Okay.
about half as much as forcing fastball. But yeah, go figure.
Huh.
Now that does make sense.
Yeah.
Because it's going to come in looking like it's going to be hitting the 5, right? It's going to be coming looking like it's middle. And then, as I said previously in regards to curveball, it's just going to drop down because it's not going as fast. So, all right, I can dig that.
I feel like, all right, so before we go to the corners, I'm going to guess that it's going to go slider number 1.
What do you want to start
Then
with, top corners or
fastball,
bottom corners?
Bottom. Well, I'm in my mind, I'm going bottom corners.
All right.
Bottom corners, I think it's going to be slider, fastball, curveball, and then changeup.
I can see that. I think we'll also see some more two-seamers because a lot of people's
Yeah.
two-seamers run in.
Sinkers sink.
Yep. All right, so let's start with top corners, though.
I think nothing's going to come close to fastball. Just like middle high.
I'm just so curious. So, yeah, it's still so much fastball. So, quadrant 1, which is top left of the corner, or of the zone. It's redundant. Still forcing fastball. It's 1,851 pitches out of the 3,398. So it's well over half. Second place is still slider. Third and fourth place is still some combination of sinker and two-seam. So it's interesting how just sheer consistent this has been so far. Because we've now climbed the ladder efficiently and moving to the sides of the plate. I mean, it's still. I'm not saying I was expecting this to change drastically, but this has been the exact same ordering, although not ratio, for every zone we've checked so far.
Do you think that it really just does come down to volume?
See, I wouldn't have before this.
No, neither have I.
Yeah, exactly. If you'd asked me beforehand, I would have definitely not guessed this. Now I have to say yeah. I mean, what else could it possibly be?
Jesus.
I would have expected change-ups to be more represented somewhere like they were at the bottom of the zone for 8.
Right.
Just because if you can throw a fastball, you have the mechanics for throwing a change-up. It's just a different grip.
Right.
But your arm angle, like your arm slot, your
arm speed is all the same.
Yeah, everything stays the same. So I'm just surprised that one's not more common. But I guess we'll find out as we go through. So let's look at quadrant number 3, which is top right in the zone. So that's in on righties, away on lefties. It's still fastball by a lot. Four seam, 1,704 out of the 2,928. So it's still well over half. Slider still in second. And actually, cutter now enters the mix at third. And then it's sinker two-seamer.
Quite interesting.
Yeah, like I guess that's going to also be a volume thing because in on righties will be a big factor there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have anything to say about this?
So now I'm a little curious about. I never really think about it, but do you know what like the split is for righties versus lefties for pitching and hitting, like percentage wise?
What do you mean?
Like what percentage of pitchers are right and left-handed, and what percentage of batters are right and left-handed?
So, let me...
Because I know that's going to severely affect the location of these pitches. I just don't know how directly it actually, relates to that, how it correlates.
Hold on.
I feel like that's a bit of a tangent, so if you want to finish up before we kind of dive into that.
I have that.
You do?
Yeah, because Baseball Savant gives you fucking everything.
All right.
So, pitcher throws. Let's sort this out. Actually, show me... So, yeah, show me just the lefties. Let's start there. So, for all of these events, there were... Oh, I think I hit it twice. My bad, folks. My bad. 11,150 left-handed results. Left-handed pitch results, I suppose. Or pitches total, I guess. So 11,050, okay? So right-handers, we have 28,850.
So
over double.
1.25 times, one and a little more, 1 1/3 times. What was it? 11,000.
No, it'd be like 2.5 times.
What was it though? 28,000.
28,850.
So it's like 2.5 times.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's that is very sizable. So for batting, because that should be here as well, and it is. We have people hitting from the. I'll start with left side of the plate. Left side of the plate, we have 16,721 results.
Okay.
And for righties, we have 23,729 results. So
okay.
that's like a 1.5 right there. 1.5 times the number.
Yeah, just under. Let's
So
just call it 1.4.
Right.
Fuck math.
So does that change any of your thinking with anything?
Kind of, not really. I don't know. Like, I know the numbers. We just went over them. I know how that would relate. One against the other, but in the grand scheme of things, my mind is not kind of really piecing it together. So, yeah, I mean, again, it's going to be, I don't know, fuck it. Yeah, fuck it.
I'm trying to glean something out of this, too. I got nothing.
Yeah, I mean, so, like...
It's interesting that we did
it. Movement pitches basically are going to be weighted towards the left side of the plate because of this. And although that we were talking about... Yeah, I guess it's really just because there's so many more right-handed pitchers than left-handed pitchers.
And everything right-handed batters versus left-handed batters.
Right, everything is just going to be weighted towards the left side of the plate volume-wise. But since we're talking about ratios, it doesn't really affect it all that much.
It's also kind of tough because hitting those spots are advantageous for different reasons.
Right.
Where, like, if you pitch up and into a righty, so we're talking quadrant 3, if not a little bit outside of that, and you can get a swing out of it, it's going to be, like, soft contact, or because it's such a weak, small part of the bat, it could just be a whiff altogether, right? If we're talking about what would result in being a strike of some kind, and if you do that to a lefty, now it's away from them, and now you might get some like reaching off the plate, or like it's a little bit high in the way, so you're going to get them to scoop under the pitch. So even though they're such drastically different in terms of the hitter's position, like in the box and all that, they could end up being just as effective, which I guess could also be something interesting to look into in the future. But I guess what I'm saying is like a well-executed pitch should be able to work regardless of what side of the plate you're on.
Right.
Yeah.
I just want to point out before we move on, because I have nothing else to add. That was very well summarized. Congratulations, Josh.
Thanks, pal.
I love how like 90% of our topic ideas happen while we're recording the podcast.
We have achieved perpetual motion.
Fuck you.
Okay. Do you want to do the bottom corners, or do you want to do middle, left, and right? I did say corners.
Middle,
so
left,
I feel
and right.
All right. So then that brings us to section 4, which is going to be the center left side of the strike zone. Ow, it's just so much forcing fastball. Yeah. Second place is sliders. Third place is changeups.
Really?
Yeah, so fastball
I mean, I
far
guess
and
I
away,
shouldn't be too surprised.
2068 2068 pitches out of the 4,894 pitches total for the center left side of the plate. Slider coming in at 666. and then changeup coming in at 437 followed. Oh, sorry, comes in third. I missed two seamers being there at 537. But changeup just edging out sinker with 13 more of those being thrown. And not much else really interesting. Curveball has a decent appearance here at 333. Nothing really unusual here. Yeah. Anything jumping out at you? Can we just go to section
Let's just
6?
go to 6. If you think I'm going to be finding any deep meaning from any of these numbers,
think again.
8. What is this? Our seventh one?
This is actually a little bit interesting.
Sure.
Okay. So 6, we're not talking middle in on righties, middle away on lefties. Still fastball, 2,174.
Of course.
Still a slider.
Of course.
841. And then third is two-seam. Fourth is cutters. Very strong outing from cutters on this one. 404 pitches are of all middle inner cutters.
Man, I'm surprised cutters even get that kind of volume.
I guess, though, that's the place you throw it, because cutters don't move nearly as much as sliders.
Yeah.
And so they could look more appealing for longer. So if you throw it middle, and it'll end up, if you throw it at 5, it will end up in 6 in on most righties. So that would be the spot for them to be, Well, yeah, I guess what I'm saying is, like, if there was a volume spot for cutters, I didn't think about it, but 6 makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, not much else really going on here.
Do you think we could do this where we, instead of just doing raw volume, we did it percentage-wise?
There's a lot of things I wanted to do with this.
Fair enough.
The thing that was just so tough about this is that it's like what I was saying last week about having the idea and then realizing how much information there is. Because, like, AKA
the exact feeling I had when we did the expansion.
Yeah. Because the thing is, this is what I had in mind. Like what I have in front of me is what I anticipated. But looking, like, when you actually get it, you just look at it and you think to yourself, wow, there's just so much more here that you could be doing,
You just said you had 28,000 instances for a single-handedness for a pitcher.
Yeah.
That's like, you had what, 40,000 total?
Yeah. It actually comes off
that.
at 40,000, so there might be more out there, but yeah, it's so much data.
I instantly would have looked at that if I was doing this with the time constraint you had. I would have looked at that and said, fuck this, I'm doing this later, and just found a different topic to work on.
Pivot tables, my friend. Pivot tables. If any of y'all bitches are listening, pivot tables. They're the best. That's the only reason this is done. That's the only reason. This is a pivot table. Like I'm not doing this myself.
Of course.
I did do some stuff by hand for the pitcher stuff, but this, no. Fuck that.
I need to get better with pivot tables. I'm still very raw with them.
I use them every day at work, and honestly, like, once you kind of get the layout, like, they're really not bad at all. I guess that's like most things of like the Excel variety.
Oh, absolutely. Like, macros were fucking another language to me when I first started using them. Granted, they're still another language to me, but it's a language I can understand, not necessarily speak.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I feel you. I
Yeah.
feel you. All right, so this brings us now to the bottom corners where I'm hoping things get interesting. Although, okay. So 7, which is bottom left, it's still fastball,
Because,
but by
of course,
a much decreasing amount. So this time, fastballs top this list.
So before giving me the numbers, is it less than 300 between fastballs and sliders?
No, but it's really close.
Fuck.
It's less than 4. It's around 4.
100?
Yeah.
Okay. Imagine if it was just 4 pitches.
4 singular pitches. Four-seam fastball, 1,134 total pitches. Slider, 722. So really, it's like 390 something right there. Yeah. Then changeups, 609. So a relatively comparable number to sliders, about 113 short. So we shaking your head.
Baseball needs more fucking curveballs, man. They're so much fun to watch.
Yeah,
throw more of them.
Well, I'm wondering because curveballs and sliders have similar grips. Yeah. I'm wondering if the reason we don't see them as much is because if you can learn the curveball, you can probably learn the slider.
And the slider's just more effective nowadays.
Yeah, and teams are just so in love with sliders.
Don't get me wrong. I understand why. I'm just upset that is fact.
Oh, no, I'm with you. Yeah, I am a big curveball fan as well. I'm so glad to have, like, Domingo Germán, who throws a really nasty curveball.
Aaron Nola, baby. Best curveball in the majors.
Ooh, I don't know. Justin Verlander.
I will die on the hill of Aaron Nola having the best curveball, so if you're coming for a fight, be ready.
Whip it out, bitch. Lube up.
Do not ask me to whip it out and not expect me to whip it out. All right, moving on.
I'm trying to see what else. Two-seamers come right after change-ups, then come sinkers, then curveballs,
you said
cutters.
You said change-ups were like third.
They are third. What did I say? Who am I? Where am I? John?
I think you said originally that it was fastballs, sliders, change-ups, curveballs, two-seamers, change-ups again. And then
change it the third time. Yeah. All right, I'm going to just list it off.
Okay.
Four-seamers in first, then sliders, then change-ups, then two-seamers, then sinkers, then curveballs, then cutters. And then there's more, but they don't matter.
Fuck curveballs, man.
All right, it's our last in the zone quadrant 9. This is bottom right, so backdoor, a backdoor shot on righties and low and away on lefties. What do you got? Any original thoughts for this after having done 8 of these already?
Absolutely not. I am lucky if I have any original thought in the first place.
I have no idea. Yeah. I give up. I admit defeat.
It's at the point of this topic where we just need the raw information because we have nothing else imaginative to add.
You might like this. Yeah.
I know exactly what meme you were trying to copy there. Respect.
So 14 fastball, 1,408.
Yes.
Slider, 1,106.
Okay.
That's 302.
I'll take it. Yeah. Two is a rounding error in this case.
And that makes a lot of sense because backdoor slider, how many times do you hear that during a fucking game?
A lot.
All the fucking time.
I've never counted, but I assume it's a lot.
All the fucking time.
Yeah.
So that would make a lot of sense. And then third on this list is, once again, change-ups. So change-ups really, which makes sense that they dominate the bottom third of the zone.
Yeah.
But they're really well represented here in this bottom third of the zone. And then, in fourth place, curveballs.
I'm happy.
Then we see curveballs.
Right. I'm happy.
This was a good one.
This is it.
This is by far the most interesting zone.
Is this the highest that curveballs have been?
Yeah, I want to say so. 462. I don't think they've broken 400 outside of this. I'll double check the other bottom of the zone categories. Oh no, bottom middle, section 8. They have 503, but it's not as high, I think, percentage wise. Although it is relatively close. But yeah, go. The bottom of the zone, man, really is where shit. This is one of those things where the more you think about it, the more like, yeah, that makes sense because you're going to get the breaking pitches because breaking pitches go down. That's the point.
If we start a new podcast, can we name it Bottom of the Zone?
Yeah.
Okay, nice. Or alternatively, Quadrant 9.
No, that's awful.
Yeah.
No, bottom of the zones was way better.
Yep, that's usually how it goes. I finish fast, and then everything else just kind of pitters out.
Pitter patter.
Pitter patter, let's get at her.
So, what is your takeaway from the in the zone portion of this? Aside from the fact that fastballs clearly dominate this sport.
Yeah, no shit. I'm surprised sinkers are kind of showing up all over the place, especially high. I am very upset. Okay, I'm very upset that curveballs aren't really around as much as I'd like and hope they are. I was surprised just because I never really thought about it that changeups are almost exclusively low in the zone. And I'm kind of annoyed that middle is where most pitches are thrown.
That is still just mind-blowing to me.
I always would think, like in my mind, if I was throwing, I'd be the kind of guy who wants to paint the edge of the zone.
And see, that's the thing.
Yeah.
I feel like that's...
Granted, I know that's easier said than done.
Of course. Every time we do one of these topics, we always think it's going to be like the modern, like, sabermetric way of thinking is going to be reflected in the numbers because you hear about it all the time.
Right.
And the people who do these kinds of things get highlighted in shows and during broadcasts and the whole nine. And then you go to the numbers, and it's all seemingly all the old school shit. It's throwing the ball quite literally over the plate, down the pipe, up the gut, with fastballs. Yeah. That is still the sport. And it's shocking to me, because I really would have thought at least one of these zones would have had something other than a four-seam fastball as the far and away king of the zone. And that's another good name for a podcast. And it's not king of the zone.
King of the zone? Okay, that's pretty good.
It's straight up fastballs just spread around. It's really surprising.
Are there any big name pitchers who just do not have a good fastball?
CeCe Sabathia.
Okay.
He barely throws it anymore. Also, Masahiro Tanaka never throws his fastball. That's because he's a partially torn UCL and can't. Any
non-Yankees that I know they both did. CeCe did, and he was
Hyun-Jin Ryu. Although I don't think. Well, actually, don't look him up because that's one of the pitchers.
Oh.
Yeah, so we'll find out if I'm right about that. But I don't believe he throws many fastballs.
Okay.
I don't believe he does.
I would look it up, but I don't know.
Clayton Kershaw is now going to have to become one of those guys, as his fastball has been dipping in velocity and thus getting slugged the fuck around.
Yeah.
So, but all right, so let's transition this into the out of the zone portion. There's only 4 quadrants now.
Is someone shooting that with their phone?
No, it's the Wi-Fi. When it lags, it gets blurry.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
We're watching the Yankees game right now.
Naturally. As we do literally every time we record this.
Yes, it's true. So there's only 4 zones in the out of the zone section.
Right.
It covers, like, from the middle of... I'll just show you a picture. So
I know what it looks like.
Oh, okay.
You don't have to show me the picture.
Perfect. So, give me some pre-numbers expectations. What are we thinking?
Bottom of the zone, I feel like it's going to be all sliders. Up in the zone, I think it's going to be all fastballs. I will stand by that. The same exact one I said before in the zone.
Now that makes sense,
but I feel like it's going to be a bigger spread.
When we did the just out of the zone, no quadrants versus in the zone, I think that was the only time sliders took over fastballs, right? I think we did have that come up.
I do think so too. Yeah.
Yeah.
The
So
more that I
that's a
think about
really
it,
good
yeah.
guess. Well, let's get into it.
Okay.
So, like I said, there's only 4. It's 11, 12, 13, and 14, with 11 being the top left out of the zone quadrant, 12 being the top right out of the zone quadrant, 13 being the bottom left out of the zone quadrant, and 14 being the bottom right out of the zone quadrant. With me?
So that is the correct way. Can we literally do 1, 2, 3, 4 so I don't get confused?
That's fine.
Okay.
I don't mind.
Yeah. Same as before.
Just throw
1
in front
top
of it.
left,
Yeah.
4 bottom right. There it is.
Sure.
Oh, wait. Is it
You were right.
11, 12, 13, 14?
11, 12, 13.
Oh, okay. I thought we were starting at 10 for some reason.
Yeah, they skipped 10, and I'm assuming it's so that they could have the 1, 2, 3,
Okay.
4 look.
So forget everything I just said. I'll be okay now.
Okay. So, which out of the zone quadrant you think got hit the most?
See, it's harder because now it's just the 4 and it covers so much. I want to say that it's going to be bottom left again.
That's what I would have picked.
Yeah.
Bottom right.
Really?
Bottom right by a decent amount.
I genuinely, even knowing the answer, I cannot give you a reason.
Isn't this so funny? Because I'm willing to bet that if we didn't have any numbers in front of us, we would just be sitting here jerking each other off.
Oh my
about
God!
How much
yeah.
we know about baseball?
Oh, of course. Josh, you have no idea that is literally the most correct statement you've ever said.
And instead, we're just sitting here like, fuck, no, that's not right. We don't know shit.
Yeah, just an absolute think tank of asshole where we are just spilling out hot garbage thinking we are the 2 smartest dudes on earth.
Yeah, it's
while it's complete and utter nonsense.
It's such nonsense. All right, so 11, which is top left, 8,713 pitches.
Okay.
Inside to the right, section 12 or quadrant 12 is 6,385. So that'd be chin music to a right-handed hitter, which is probably why it's a little bit less common there. Bottom left, quadrant 13, 10,125, big jump.
Okay.
Into bottom right, quadrant 14, 14,777.
Fuck. All right. Sure.
So it's quite size. It's by over 4,000. 4,000 by over 4,600. It's the most.
I genuinely do not even have a slight comprehension how it's bottom right.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know what else to say.
All right, Josh.
Yeah.
Take us away.
Okay, so let's start. Just go numerical.
Yep.
Quadrant 11. It's still so much fastballs. It's so much fastballs. Holy shit. Yeah. So out of the 8,700-ish pitches, in quadrant 11, the high and away on righties, or high and left, I should say, 4,800 of them are fastballs. 14 fastballs.
Holy shit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not even close. Now, I guess that does make sense because fastballs dominated the top of the zone. Last time we talked about them. Why would there be breaking balls up there?
Right.
But it's still just jarring. Second place is actually 2-seamers at 888.
Third
Excuse
me for one moment.
Yeah.
The fuck?
Third place is sliders. Still.
Okay, yeah, all right.
648. And then change-ups. Could you imagine throwing a change-up high and away?
No.
No! That's fucking bizarre. That's hilarious. Also, 1 eephus.
Good.
Yeah,
Good.
It should be there.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Something right in this world.
I feel like both other ephuses that have been thrown this year, I feel like they're going to be very much bottom of the zone.
Also, 3 pitch outs, which I think this is the right spot for that. Yeah.
Okay. Good. Weren't there like 14 pitch outs?
I forget the number, but that sounds right.
So where are all the other ones?
Ooh, no, wait. I think it was like 14 in the zone.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All right.
I was going to say, how is there only like 3 of the pitch outs high and away?
Which you would think
righties.
There should be.
Right.
But
yeah.
All right, so I'm just really excited for the bottom of the zone stuff, so I might power through 12. So
all right, go through it.
Zone 12, or quadrant 12, it's still by far fastballs, four seams. So there's 6,400 four seam pitches in this quadrant. 3,700 of them are four seam fastballs. So again, more than half. Second place for this is sliders at 633. And then
pitchers, y'all need to get your shit together,
and
man.
then third place is two seamers again. And then fourth place is cutters.
Are there any ephuses?
No ephuses. Nothing. Anything that's not like one of the more traditional. Like there's only 17 splitters. We got 25 knuckle curveballs, 12 knuckleballs in general, and 6 unidentifiable pitches.
Love it. Love to see that.
Yeah, always great. So, moving right along, just passing through that area. Bottom left.
Sure.
Slider. My fingers are crossed for those of you who can't see me.
If it's not sliders, I'm going to be real upset.
I'm going to be very genuinely disappointed. All right. Okay, so it's still forcing fastballs.
Fuck.
By 15.
Oh, perfect.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
That's about as least disappointing as I could have gotten.
Yeah.
Whatever.
No, this is a good one. So the 10,125 pitches. So the numbers are all going to look a little bit high here. Four-seam fastballs. It's actually the lowest of the three zones we've covered so far. At it's 2,080, which is like half of what it just was.
Just to clarify, this is bottom left, correct?
Bottom left.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's still hope to be had.
Sliders, 2,065.
Nice.
That's a very good showing from sliders.
That is a lot.
Finally makes sense.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Then comes changeups at 1,845. That also makes sense. Then two-seam fastballs at 1048 and curveballs at 1030.
All right, sure.
We have two pitch outs, paltry 4 knuckle curves, and 4 unidentifiable pitches. And that's it.
All right, so we have one zone left.
One zone left.
Somehow this was most popular for inside the zone.
Out of the zone. We're out of the zone.
Right. Total pitches outside the zone. This is where we're going to see sliders take over. I am not confident, but I will make the declaration anyway.
All right.
Sliders.
Okay. Yeah! By a lot.
Yes!
By a lot.
Good. Fuck you, fastballs.
So four-seam fastball, second place, 2,193. Sliders, 4,517.
Yes.
I really wouldn't expect this to be the place for sliders.
Not at all.
I'm genuinely surprised.
I physically do not understand how they could have gotten there, but yes.
I don't know why you're here, but I'm happy.
Yes, exactly.
This is just not where I would have like third place is change-ups, which I totally get that. Fourth place is curveballs, like I'm with that. There's one ephus in there, which is hilarious. But yeah, 4,500. That might be the most section, the most sliders in every.
Yeah, anything.
Actually, no, that's definitely the most sliders in any section.
Yeah.
So the most sliders.
Is it the most pitch, like most of any pitch in any zone on the outside the zone?
Yeah, it has to be. Yeah, it definitely is. 100%. The only one that was close, I think, was 11 for its four seamers. Yeah, no, 11 for its four seamers does beat it out because it has 4,791. So
but that's
about
not
250 more pitches, 280. But that's So the most common place
can a pitching
to throw
coach
a slider is bottom out of the zone and in on a righty.
Can a pitching coach reach out to us? Maybe just give us a little insight. Please, like it doesn't even have to be super correct. Just like help us out. So
while you're watching this game, have you been like paying attention? For
100%.
I feel so hyper aware of it now.
Yeah,
because like I said previously, we have a game on, and like I'm like not watching it, but every now and then I'm kind of glancing up to keep track because this is my team and all that, and I just feel so incredibly hyper. This is the only time in my life I've been like, thank God they have the box.
So the way I relate to this, which I know you cannot relate, but it's when you get super uncomfortably high, like far too high for you to be in a good mood, and you have to focus on your breathing or you are convinced you will die. So I can't not look at where these pitches are located and just like exist.
Yeah, no, I understand what you mean, though I have not been there myself. So, yeah, what's your big takeaway from this whole little project here?
I do not understand how the slider works as a pitch. I thought I did. I definitely do not.
I don't understand how sliders work. I don't understand why fastballs are still thrown so much.
Yeah.
I don't understand where the curveball went. I don't understand how changeups end up high and away. I don't understand anything.
I have lost so much confidence in my ability to understand baseball.
Like, I'm so excited to watch the rest of this game now because I'm just going to be sitting there like, oh, what's he going to do now? Now it's not about like the pitch being taken deep or the pitch like sequencing for me anymore, which is the two things I usually watch for.
Of course.
Now it's about like, all right, where is he throwing it? Why is he doing that? How fast is it? Oh God, I feel like a machine and I love it.
All right, next pitch. Where's it going to be? I think it's going to be
It's a 3-2.
bottom
I'm gonna say
down slider. Bottom down.
Low and away.
Yeah. Something.
I can't tell. I don't know his repertoire.
Yeah.
And that's my problem. Is like if
it was
it's
a
really
slow
obvious,
pitch, so it wasn't a fastball. But
yeah, 86 miles an hour. It's definitely not his fastball.
And it didn't move enough for it to be a slider.
It could just be a changeup.
Yeah, it could be.
Who's to say?
Not me. That's for sure.
No, sir. Anyway, so I decided to look into. I want to look into Hyun-Jin Ryu because he's having a great season, and I didn't have any idea what I was looking for, but I kind of wanted to just play around and see what his season looks like.
Yeah, okay.
Then I thought to myself, well, I'm going to pick an NL pitcher. Let's pick an AL pitcher.
Naturally.
And I picked the most confusing...
Wait. Is it a Yankee?
No.
Thank you. Okay.
I picked the most confusing AL pitching season so far this year.
Ooh, can I guess?
Yeah.
The most confusing AL pitching season. Is it Mike Minor?
No. You're on the right...
Lance Lynn.
Lance Lynn.
Okay.
Because, as we mentioned several times... How does Lance Lynn have so much wins above replacement?
And how is he getting so many strikeouts?
So I picked him for the other one because I thought it was like, yeah,
perfect.
Maybe we'll get some answers.
We won't because we're not smart enough. But I like your tenacity.
Yeah, we'll try. All right, so we'll start with Hyun-Jin Ryu. So I put together a little pivot table.
Of course.
Because apparently this is the flavor of the week for me. For his pitch usage, which is something we talk about plenty. So I made mention of the fact that I don't think he threw a lot of fastballs. And it is his most thrown pitch, but as a ratio of his total pitches, I don't think it's all that high. So, but of course, because I did this in a rush, I don't have the ratio in front of me. I guess.
How dare you?
Actually, I could do it in all 30 seconds, but...
Give me the numbers, I can do it.
I'll give it to you. So, he has thrown... 528 total four-seam fastballs on the season.
Okay.
Out of his 1,773 total pitches.
That's about
29%.
29.78%.
And if
I very much got confused by like where the decimal point goes.
Yeah.
I was like, it definitely isn't 2.9%. I am very confused by math right now, but yeah, 29.7%, so 30.
Yeah, and so I really think that I don't have the league average in front of me or major league average in front of me.
Definitely more than 30.
I was going to say though, like I feel pretty confident in saying it's going to be over 40.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because
I'd say it's probably more than 50.
I'm only going to hesitate on the 50 just because, starting pitchers, although this is pitchers in general, it might be over 50. You might be right.
I'm gonna Google it.
Regardless, go ahead. Regardless, it's 100% more than 30.
Yeah.
Now let me ask you this: how many sliders do you think Hyun-Jin Ryu has thrown this season?
Slider, like actual number of his...
The quantity of sliders Hyun-Jin Ryu has thrown this season.
Out of 1,700?
Out of 1,773 pitches.
1,000.
1.
What?
He has thrown 1 slider this entire goddamn season.
So, here's where I got to be honest with you. I haven't watched Hyun-Jin Ryu this season.
I mean,
I really thought he was a slider pitcher. So, you know what? I'm going to go fuck myself. Sorry, Dodgers fans.
I knew he was like a crafty lefty, but I would have assumed that would have included a slider.
Yeah.
No. His second most used pitch is a changeup.
Okay.
After that, at 477, so only 50 fewer than. So it's about the same rate as his four-seam fastball, which makes sense. Changeup pitchers usually throw their fastball a similar amount to get the right look. After that, it's the cutter at 350, so we're about 120 less than the changeup. After that, it is his two-seam fastball, and then after that, his cutter. Curveball. So those are his primary 5 pitches, and they are distributed rather, as you would think, I would suppose, and decently well.
So I have the numbers here for fastballs. This is as of at the end of 2018.
Sure.
For starters, it was 55%.
Okay.
Relievers, it was 58%.
I actually would expect that to be even higher.
Yeah. It peaked in 2013 for relievers at 60%. It peaked for starters in 2010 at 58%. It has not gone below 50%.
Right, that makes sense. So, what do you think of Hyun-Jin Roo's pitch distribution here?
Confusing. I'm probably going to lean in to take a better look. Yeah, I mean, I didn't think this was the kind of pitcher he was.
Neither did I.
Yeah, but I mean, as far as I'm concerned, if you didn't tell me this was Hyun-Jin Roo, I'd have been like, okay, that makes a lot of sense.
I mean, yeah, if I told you this is the repertoire of a very good pitcher, you'd probably say, yeah, well, he throws 5 pitches a decent amount of the time.
Yeah.
So he has the repertoire to be a very good pitcher, so sure.
Of course, yeah.
So, yeah, I mean,
if I looked at this right now, I would say he is a very crafty pitcher with a very good fastball and a couple other things to kind of keep people on their toes, but that's pretty much it.
So, just to double this into the conversation we just had.
Okay.
How many percentage-wise pitches do you think he threw in the zone versus out of the zone?
I'm going to say 65-35 split.
65 which way?
In the zone. I'm not confident now that you had to clarify.
Well, I don't blame you. He has thrown, I just want to get this right, 48.5% of his pitches in the zone, 51.5 of them out of the zone.
Wow, so he sucks.
He's terrible. DFA him.
Can't get a strike if he wanted to.
That says a lot, though.
For sure.
Yeah, I'm actually quite intrigued by that. I mean, I guess that makes sense since he has a decent amount of breaking stuff in his curveball and his changeup. Even the cutter, if you want to call it. It's not a breaking pitch, but it does have good movement. My point being, he throws a lot of stuff that does move. He doesn't play off of his fastball an extreme quantity. But, yeah, there you go. As it stands right now, he has given up 70 singles, 21 doubles, 10 home runs, 14 walks.
Holy shit.
I don't know why, but they differentiate between double plays and grounding into double plays, so I'm just going to say 15 double plays. He has suffered 5 errors. 3 fielder's choices, 209 fielding outs, 9 force outs. He has hit 2 batsmen, 3 sack bunts, 2 sack flies, and 112 strikeouts.
Couple things.
Yeah.
That out to walk ratio is
astonishing,
out of this world.
Astonishing.
2, that is far too many things to list off.
It's way too many things.
Yes.
But I didn't know where to stop, so I just kept going.
Fair enough. All right.
Yeah. In general, though, the big numbers here, he has 112 strikeouts to 209 fielding outs. I'd say I'm going to be curious to see how Lance Lynn changes, because Lance Lynn is a fastball pitcher.
I genuinely don't know if that's a good ratio or not.
That's the thing. I don't either.
Yeah.
That might be another idea too.
Fair enough. All right.
We have to think like what's a good strikeout?
25%.
Strikeout to 9. Strikeout per 9.
Oh, above 9. Anything above 9, in my mind, is very good.
So let's call 9 the line then.
Perfect.
That was way too much rhyming. But that's only going to be 1 out of 3 of your outs.
Right.
So I'd assume since he's at 50%. No, I guess that is actually 1 out of 3.
Yeah.
So I guess he's
at that.
Yeah, he's
exactly.
right there.
Yeah.
All right.
Wow, we figured this out all by ourselves.
Big
Look
boys.
at us.
How do you think Lance? Give me your perception of who Lance Lynn is.
Before this year, not this. This year, I would argue that he is a high strikeout guy with probably like an 11 outs per 9, and then is just a fireballer. Yeah.
You ready?
Giving up a lot of home runs, I'm assuming. Yeah.
I have no idea.
Yeah. Okay.
All I know, because he played for the Yankees for like 2 months last year, all I know is that he is a fastball pitcher.
Oh my God, I forgot about that.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, let's take a look. He has by far more fastballs than anything else. He has 1,096 four-seam fastballs out of his 224 total outs. And that is good for, 2,248 total outs, which is good for 48.75%, which I guess is still lower than your average starter from 2018. But it feels like that's actually kind of weird.
Yeah.
Regardless, he has thrown 396 two-seamers, 368 cutters. So all 3 of those are fastballs, just with the different types. So if
we can just lump them together.
If you want to put those 3 together,
yeah.
like that makes him very much so a fastball pitcher. Since his next 3 pitches that he has, you barely register. He's thrown 206 curveballs. He's thrown 66 changeups, which feels like it should be. I feel like if you can throw a fastball, you can throw a changeup. And he's thrown 116 unidentifiable pitches. Which, for reference, Hyun-Jin had 1. I didn't even mention it. Like, it wasn't important.
What the fuck does that even mean? 106? I'm assuming it's just different kinds of a fastball that they just couldn't, like, separate between the two.
Like, I don't know. Like, what do you? I don't know. Let's go to it.
So, from what I've learned about pitching and pitchers since I've started getting into baseball and fantasy especially, is you really tend to avoid guys who just only have one pitch to offer, because 99 times out of 100, them doing well is just them exceeding expectations greatly, and they're just waiting to get, fixed on that one pitch and just get fucking shell-shocked. So I do not know how Lance Lynn is doing this for over half a season by now, let alone for, being a decent pitcher for his entire career.
I'm still just trying
I feel like he's been decent.
He must be. He's leading. Or
like,
if not leading, then he's second
in his career. Like, I feel like he's decent.
Yeah, I think he rocks somewhere around a good 3.6 ERA lifetime. We could check it. I don't feel like it.
I'll do it.
Yeah, it's so much of this just says null. Like, I don't know why it's unidentifiable, but apparently Lance Lynn has just broken baseball savant. So, what percentage of his pitches do you think are in the zone versus out of the zone?
Did he just fucking balk in a run?
I don't think so. No one's moving.
Or did he hit him? No, someone just... All right, we're going to find out.
Oh, I think Sanchez got hit in the backswing. Oh, God, they call him catcher's interference.
Yeah. Oh, that's not great.
All right, anyway, continue. Go on.
All right. I do not remember where I was.
Aren't you a podcast whiz?
Nope. I'm really fucking dumb, and I shouldn't be doing this.
Lance Lynn's in the zone versus out of the zone.
Okay. I'm going to say 50-50.
Fucking pretty much. 51% in the zone, 49% out of the zone.
All right, so before we dive deep, I have his stats right here. Do you know what his career WAR is?
So this year he has what, like 4.1?
Yep. 4.7 now, actually.
Okay, Jesus.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
I'll say not a lot. I'll say like 10.
19.3.
Okay.
Which is way more than I thought Lance Lynn would have.
How long has he been in the bigs for?
2012 was his first full season. He was an all-star that year, which he's never had a losing record as a pitcher.
The man's just a mystery.
He has a career ERA of 3.61.
Oh my God!
Has an
You know what I
ERA
said?
lifetime of 3.93. Did you say 3.61?
I thought he had a lifetime ERA of 3.6. You saying that this year?
No, 3.93 this year. 3.61 all time.
Yo, really?
Yeah.
Oh my God! Wow, that's so on the nose.
Good for you, man. I'm proud of you.
I'm feeling great.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck, Lance.
Well, let's get into his number, you guys. There's not a lot here.
The fuck did you just say?
There's really not a lot here. So he has 152 strikeouts. He's allowed 89 singles, 29 doubles, 4 triples, and 13 home runs. That's all around Hyun-Jin-Roo's numbers. He has about, I think, 19 more singles, doubles. Hyun-Jin-Roo has allowed 21. Lance Lynn's around 29. Hyun-Jin-Roo had allowed no triples, so he has 4 more than him there. Yeah. Triples aren't very common. And only 3 more home runs. So he has allowed more contact than Hyun-Jin-Roo, but it's not exorbitant.
What's the strikeout comparison? 152 to...
So he has 152 strikeouts as compared to 219 fielding outs.
Very good ratio.
Yeah. He has only induced 9 double plays, which feels like not nearly enough. Yeah, 4 hit by pitches, 3 sac flies, 1 sac bunt, and 31 walks. So it seems like there's just not a lot here, really. I mean, it feels weird because this is a lot of, I don't want to say meaningless info, but a lot of stuff we don't usually look at. But it's noticeable how much fewer I guess data there is here than there was with Hyun-Jin-Roo.
Right.
Like there seemed to be more going on in his starts, despite the fact that I
so.
kind of would have assumed. Do you still have Lance Lynn's stats up?
Yes.
Because I'm going to pull up Hyun-Jin-Roo's because I'm curious about something.
So you, what did we say Hyun-Jin-Roo's strikeout percentage was? 1 in 3.
Yeah, around there.
Do you know what Lance Lynn is? Because I just did the math. Do you want to guess? Educated guess?
Well, he had more strikeouts, but I don't know how many innings he had.
I just did it by total outs.
I'll say like 3 points or 37%.
It's actually 41%.
That's a lot.
That's a very high number.
Yeah, no, that is. I felt like I was being generous too.
Yeah.
So, what is Lance Lynn's WHIP?
Career or this year?
Just this year.
1.23.
See, now that's interesting because so Hyun-Jin-Roo's is 0.93, right?
Very good.
But Hyun-Jin-Roo had more double plays and I guess it's really just I was just thinking about the double plays aspect of it. Because I would have assumed that since to have more double plays means that you have more people on the base for that. So I guess maybe there's also a defense aspect that's picking him up in Los Angeles as compared to in Texas. But,
yeah, I would definitely say that, Los Angeles Dodgers have better defensive players than the Texas Rangers.
Yeah, well, yeah, you're right. Okay. Any other things you'd like to talk about in regards to either of these two pitchers or anything else that we've talked about today?
I mean, I'd like to dive into why Lance Lynn is good this year, but
that was
we're
the
never
going to
figure that out.
Does anything in here tell you, yeah, that guy's worth 4 points, is on pace for like 8.5 WAR?
The 41% strikeout rate does, but that's about it. especially since I don't know why he's getting such a high strikeout rate out of nowhere. Because I feel like his career is nowhere close to that.
Yeah, maybe he's just one of those dudes who pitches better in the heat.
Dry Texas heat.
Yeah, I mean, wasn't that not Nolan Ryan? Who am I thinking of?
Randy Johnson.
Maybe I am thinking of Nolan Ryan. Roger Clemens.
I don't know.
I know Aroldis Chapman's like that. He claims that he pitches better in the heat, but who do you think leads all of the majors in strikeout percentage?
Ooh, Josh Hader for sure.
Oh, is that fucking not here? I'm gonna feel like such a dick because I brought it up. No, why would you do this to me? Oh, hold on. Let me see if I can find it.
All right. I don't think anyone's going to come close to Josh Hader.
Oh, I found it. Okay, let me just make sure it's sorted correctly. And it's actually Justin Verlander.
Those are only starters.
Oh, you know what? There's probably an innings limit. It's probably qualified pitchers. Yeah.
Okay.
What do you want to set our innings limit to?
100?
No, we won't get any relievers in there.
No? Okay.
Because a good reliever is going to throw. Yeah, I was going to say like maybe like
okay,
50 or 60. I'm going to put it at 40.
40?
I'm gonna
okay,
put it,
that's fine.
Yeah. All right. Let's see if we can get some more fun names in there. I've already seen some additions. Let's make sure we're sorted properly here. It's Josh Hader.
Nice.
46.7%.
Wow.
Second is Edwin Diaz, 44.3%.
That's closer than I thought it would be.
And oh wait, that says Edwin Diaz Mariners. Is this 28? This is 2018. They don't have 29. Oh, there it is. Jesus. God damn it, Fangraphs. God damn it.
Why would you do this to us?
You sons of bitches.
Yeah, I feel like he's going to be... I'm gonna make a proclamation that Josh Hader is going to be over 50% this year.
Ooh. 50.0. Woo! No, that's not over. That's not over.
Yeah.
Get bent.
Ah, shit. Damn you technicalities. We need more decimal places.
Second is Kirby Yates at 42.2.
I'd believe that.
Third is Brad Hand, 40.6. Then Will Smith at 39.1. Giovanni Gallegos, good for you, buddy, 38.7. And that's our top five. The first starter I see here is Garrett Cole at number 7, 37.5%. And I'm trying to find our boy here, Lance Lynn, and not seeing him.
Really?
Yeah, I am not seeing him. Yeah, so I've already hit the 30.6% mark here, and Lance Lynn's nowhere to be found on this list.
What percentage are you at?
30.6.
Huh.
Yeah.
Has he only pitched 39 innings?
He hasn't been hurt, has he?
No. He's been healthy all year.
Yeah, I just came across...
Can you search directly for Lance Lynn?
I can, but now I want to see where he places on the... I found him. I finally found him. Number 61.
So what's his actual strikeout percentage?
27.0.
So I fucked up the math royally?
Yeah.
Fuck.
But this only makes it worse.
Yeah,
Why is he worth so much?
If
it was a 41% strikeout rate, I could have accepted that.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm really confused. Can we call him up and ask him?
So let's just. So I have his advanced stats up. Let's look at it. So his K. Oh wait, that doesn't make any. So his strikeouts per 9 is 10.13, but his strikeout percentage is 27.
Yeah. So I forget the specific difference, but I guess he's just allowing a decent amount of base runners.
His whip is
know
high.
The whip is
1.23.
Like, yeah.
Okay, all right, I can accept that. So I'll just read these all out because I'm just curious now. You're all just in my rabbit hole with me. He has a 10.3 K per 9. His walk per 9 is 2.07, which is respectable. His strikeout per walk ratio is 4.9. His home runs per 9 is 0.87. So you'd like to see that maybe a little bit lower, but I think that's probably on the better end. Fewer than one home run per game.
Yeah.
He has a 27% strikeout rate, as we said, a 5.5% walk rate, and a 21.5% strikeout to walk rate.
Pretty good.
He is allowing a 255 batting average against. He's a 1.23 whip,
Crazy.
a 3.35 BABIP, so he's probably getting, I guess, a bit unlucky there. His left on base percent is 73.1. I don't know anything about left on base percent and what's good and what's bad. So
I have no idea.
All right. His ERA minus is 80, so ERA minus works the opposite as ERA plus. So if this was ERA plus, it would be 120. The lower ERA minus is, the better. So he is 20% better.
What's the point of having it two separate things?
They're calculated by different companies. ERA plus is for Baseball Reference, and ERA minus is for Fangraphs.
Such petty assholes.
I guess it's just how you differentiate your stats.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
So similarly, you'll see FIP minus of 63. So his FIP is 37. This is why I hate it. It's you have to do like reverse math,
right?
AKA subtraction. Reverse math. His FIP minus is 63, so he's 37% better than your average pitcher in terms of his fielding independent pitching. His xFIP, his expected fielding independent pitching, which I know is heavily weighted in Fangraphs WAR, is 81, which makes him 19% better than your average pitcher. His actual ERA is 3.93, FIP of 3.0, ERA minus FIP of 0.93. I didn't know that was a stat. His xFIP is 3.72, and his Sierra, which I don't even want to look up what that is 3.77.
It's essentially FIP.
Fuck you, Fangraphs.
Yeah.
I still don't know why he's worth so much.
No, I don't either.
I've read so many Lance Lynn specific numbers in this last 10 minutes. I have no idea how he's worth so much.
He's gonna go through the end, like finish up the year with like a crazy amount of WAR and like just decent numbers supporting it. And I feel like everyone else is gonna tank in the AL, and they're just gonna have to give him the Cy Young, and the ceremony's just gonna be like, "Fuck you, Lance Lynn. Here you go. Fuck this award."
He's
stormed off stage.
He's worth an entire win by Fangraphs more than Garrett Cole, Charlie Morton, Steven Strasburg, Jacob deGrom, Hyun-Jin Ryu, and Lucas Giolito. All of those people have 3.6 wins above replacement, tied for third place. Lance Lynn has 4.6, only beat out by Max Scherzer at 5.5. I'm just floored. I don't get it. I don't understand.
Fuck this.
Why
would you have a topic? Why would you make two topics back to back that both infuriate me?
I'm sorry. And I'm looking at the numbers, and it doesn't make it any better. Like I'm so mad. So, like, all right, I know this has been a forever topic for the last 10 minutes, but I'm going to keep going because I need everyone to understand how much I hate this.
Fuck you, Lance Lynn.
So I'm just going to compare him to Garrett Cole because Garrett Cole's next on the list, and he's a pitcher that if you would ask me right now with no numbers and no previous knowledge of like the wins above replacement side of this, I would assume would have more wins above replacement than Lance Lynn.
Obviously.
His name has been circulating in the Cy Young vote way more than Lance Lynn's has.
Because he's a better pitcher. All right.
So Lance Lynn, 12 wins and 6 losses. Garrett Cole, 10 wins and 5 losses. They each have 21 games and 21 games started. Lance Lynn has thrown 5.1 more innings. Negligible.
Yeah. How many innings total?
135 for Lance Lynn, 129.2 for Garrett Cole.
Okay. So very much negligible.
Very, very, very much so. I mean, it's like
3.5%, 4%.
Yeah, it's also not even one more out per game.
Yeah.
Like, it's really not much.
Yeah.
So Lance Lynn's K per 9 is 10.13. Garrett Cole's is 13.47. Lance Lynn's walks per 9 is 2.07. Garrett Cole's is 2.29, so his is higher. So, okay, that's worse. Lance Lynn's home runs per 9 is 0.87, as we said. Garrett Cole's is 1.46. That's worse.
That's much worse.
Lance Lynn's BABIP is 3.35. Garrett Cole's is 300. So Lance Lynn's is actually worse. Lance Lynn's left on base percentage is 73.1%. Garrett Cole's is 79.7. So Lance Lynn's worse. Their ground ball percent. Lance Lynn is a 42.5. Garrett Cole is a 41.6. I'm going to call that relatively negligible. 0.9 percentage difference.
Solid push.
Oh, okay. This is an interesting one. This is a big difference. Although this might factor into something we already talked about. Lance Lynn's home run to fly ball ratio is 9.6%. Garrett Cole's is 20.8.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Let's loop back to that at the end.
Sure.
Their ERAs, Lance Lynn is a 3.93. Garrett Cole is a 3.12. Lance Lynn's is much better. Garrett Cole's is much better. Lance Lynn is a 3.00 FIP. Garrett Cole is a 3.14, so Lance Lynn's is better. And although the xFIP is a big difference as well, but in favor of Garrett Cole, whose xFIP is 2.57, to Lance Lynn's 3.72. And then, as I said, their WAR is 4.6 to 3.6 in favor of Lynn. So the only three, like, big differences are that home run to fly ball, which is in favor of Lynn, ERA, which is in favor of Cole, and xFIP, which is also in favor of Cole. And my understanding is that xFIP is built very heavily into Fangraph's WAR, so I don't know. Home run to fly ball could be interesting. Like, maybe the idea of generating weak contact in the air is advantageous for some reason.
But is that really, like, enough to...
An entire win?
Yeah, exactly. Like, a 15% difference in... Or, like, an 11% difference in home run to fly ball rate? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't really know either.
We file complaints on Fangraphs?
I might have to email Jeff Sullivan really mean things.
Yeah, I know who that is. I'm assuming it's the guy who created Fangraphs.
He worked there for a really long time, but he actually left to go work for the Rays front office because they paid him a lot of money.
Did that happen this year?
Yeah.
That was the big thing. Yeah, now I remember him.
Yeah, I miss him.
I just didn't put two and two together.
Yeah, I don't really care for Sam Miller.
4, by the way.
In terms of the Effectively Wild podcast.
Yeah.
I love Ben Lindbergh, though.
Yeah. I started listening to it, yeah.
Fellow Jew.
Moving on. I have nothing to say to move on to, but moving on.
I have no answers as to why Lance Lynn is worth as much as he is, and part of me wants to just stop asking, but the rest of me knows I can't. So, what do you have to say?
I'd like to propose that this becomes an anti-Lance Lynn podcast.
I'm not going to be anti-Lance Lynn because I need to know why.
How about we are anti-Lance Lynn until we determine why?
I want to be anti-Fangraphs because I feel like this is their fault somehow. Maybe this is the catalyst for why they changed their formula.
Yeah. I could see Lance Lynn doing that.
Actually, shall we look at how they calculate wins above replacement for pitchers?
No, because that's going to be an entire episode's worth of information.
All right, this will become an episode. I'm doing this for an episode,
okay.
But I'm just going to read it out for you just for fun. WAR for Fangraphs for pitchers equals, in so many parentheses, it's not worth reading.
Give us the spark notes.
So basically, it's like league adjusted FIP for the pitcher,
right?
Divided by pitcher specific runs per win, which I'd have to look up what that is.
Assuming it's how many runs they give up per win.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then there's an adjustment for what the actual replacement level is, which I'm assuming has its own equation or calculation, what have you. Innings pitched per 9 comes in to the mix there. That's one of their variables. There's a leverage multiplier for relievers.
Makes sense.
Fangraphs is very into what they call the leverage index, which is how important are the innings that you're pitching. Right.
So, like a reliever who's really good in the 6th inning isn't as important as a not nearly as good pitcher doing it in the 9th.
It's like
to a degree.
The question is the game on the line? That's where the question is, right? If it's a high leverage inning, or it's a high leverage situation, I should say. If like the bases are loaded and you're only up by 1 run and there's no outs and your pitcher gets 3 outs, that was a high leverage inning.
Right.
And then the later in the game it happens, the more high leverage it becomes. But yeah, and then there's a league correction in there. So there's a lot going on in here, and a lot of this looks dense.
So I think we are going to save that for the full episode.
Yeah, I'm done. I'm tapping out.
Yeah, all right.
Coach, pull me. I'm CC Sabathia in this game. Get me out of here.
Yeah, this is disgusting.
Yeah. So let's call it a day. This was a lot. This is a long episode, and I'm not even sorry because you're listening to it.
How long have we been recording? Like an hour and a half?
Yeah, just about hour 20.
Fuck.
Good for us.
Fuck you guys.
Yeah.
Sorry for putting you through that. Not sorry.
Wow, wicked burn, bro.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts, or can we just end this?
No, let's kill it.
All right, if you want to follow the show on Instagram, that's the second time I did that. We don't have an Instagram.
We should make one.
No, if you want more things for me to do.
Yeah,
if you want to follow the show on Twitter, you can do so at JuicingPod. If you want to follow us, follow our website. You can check it out at juicingthenumbers.wixsite.com/website. And if you want to hit us up via Gmail, you can do so at juicingthenumbers@gmail.com. And until fucking Monday, y'all have a good one.
I'm glad you didn't ask me because I don't think I would have gotten it on the first try. Bye.